Well, T.I. and King, Tip Harris and his son King, it finally happened. Maybe it has already happened, but it has hit the public viewing for us to see. Falcons game celebrating 50 years of hip hop, and we see the exchange going down between father, son. Mother Tiny is involved as well, trying to de-escalate things. At the same time, y'all know how it is with Tiny. You know she gonna hold T.I. down. Like, hey, this my baby daddy. This my kid right here. This my hub. But I got love for him. King, you better stop. You better back up from your daddy. This my baby. For the king. This for the king right here. You better back up. You better back. And then he just like, I'm about my business. Like, just Charleston White, he already done spoke out on bad behind King. But obviously, I'm no psychologist of sort, but at the same time, I personally feel, just my opinion, all things alleged, just entertainment purposes, it's running deeper than what we're seeing. You know, we saw this kid on Funny Marco when he said, it is not what you think. The image of, what is it, Family Value Hustles, a show that was on back in the day. You know, it got canceled for various reasons. He said it wasn't what you all thought. It was just for TV that role was played. He said he lived with his grandmother, and that was for a reason. Yes, some of us do recall the incident that happened at the Waffle House. Okay, it's been other incidences as well. And then, you know, it's like he's trying to live up to whatever image that is in his head, but yet this kid is not from Bankhead, whatever Bankhead is supposed to represent. That's where his father's from. And he comes from a home, but at the same time, just because you may live in an upper chalant neighborhood, that does not always mean that the sins of the father is not passed down to the children. I don't think T.I. was what you call the righteous, stand-up guy who got it right in his young years. Now, as far as just disrespecting your elders, wilding out at the Waffle House on different ones, or standing tall, like in his parents' face or auntie's face, I never viewed T.I. like that. Of course, social media wasn't really tough like that, or maybe it's somebody in their family who did come off like that. Who knows? But what is it that children are just so comfortable to want to go there and disrespect their parents, not caring who's around? Because Tiny, you could tell the woman was embarrassed. She's like, you're embarrassing yourself. Study saying it. Like, basically, get a hold of yourself. But the kid, unfortunately, is a hothead. It's like he's just waiting every time for some form of a disaster to take place. And again, this was supposed to have been a celebration. Now you have different celebrities chiming in about their parenting skills and what it is that they need to do. But again, everyone can always be so quick to say they need to focus on doing this, doing that, instead of trying to spoil him, gave him everything that he wants. Well, it was also known that they said that we're not spoiling him. King is now a grown man. And at the same time, King can get out here and get it for himself. They also talked about how this kid had really good grades, you know, before the time he had graduated. But in a way, too, I think media sometimes comes for him a little bit harder than the rest. Could that be because of people think he looks one way? Could that be because people think that his teeth, you know, that keeps coming up now, doesn't quite fit him? But that was his choice that he decided that he wanted to do. He said he liked him. He feel good with him. He feel all right with him. Sometimes I think that society can be a little bit too hard on people and will make people act out. No, we don't know what is being said to this young man in his household or what has been said. Because I have heard sometimes parents just flat out don't like this particular child, that particular child, for whatever reason. I'm not saying that's the case in that household, but what is so bad? Hopefully, he'll have his day to say. Hopefully, he will get some help to get through, to get this, whatever this is that's on his back, off of his back. And I'm really, really hoping that this has nothing to do with a publicity stunt of some form, because that's real common now these days. It might be another reality show of some form coming out, and next thing you know, all this hype is being surrounded. But to sacrifice your family, to put your business out there, all for rates, I want to believe that this was real. I want to believe too that nothing like this will happen again, and that they will get themselves together. Because sometimes play, if it was for play, can go too far, because you could tell he was getting amped up. And then I'm hearing the laugh in the background. And it's like, okay, what's so funny? And then Tiny, to me, she sounded like a mother who was in deep distress between a father and a son. She's the mother, she's the wife. Like, this ain't supposed to be going down like this. Now, T.I., about a week ago or so, just celebrated opening up affordable housing in the neighborhood that he grew up in. Now that's worthy to be praised. That's a good thing. And you know what? It wasn't really a lot of publicity on that. I did notice that. I knew it was in the works. I knew it was being talked about for some years, but the fact that it got done, because let's face it, sometimes when we say we're going to set out to do something, all types of roadblocks come in the way. And the fact that T.I. and Tiny and whoever else was on board to get it done, it happened. Now, this situation is progressing like wildfire. What has King done now? You look at the other two sons, you see they're just progressing in what it is that they're trying to pursue, whether it's music or school or just trying to have a regular life. Then there's two daughters, and the one daughter, Zaini, she had some comments not long ago to say about her mother feeling like she wasn't really there for her or put other things before her. And Deja, she's had her own personal problems as well, saying that she was embarrassed when T.I. went there on a personal level to talk about personal things that deal with the female body, that she was not feeling, she was so not okay about. But again, every family has their own dynamics. Every family has their moments to fall out. But what is the ultimate decision here? To continue to have disruptions, to keep things distorted and let that be and forget about things and just continue to let the mind be cluttered and be toxic and putting paws on each other or putting your mouth on each other when the time comes? No, that's not always the answer. But there is such a thing as boundaries, and some people do have to imply those in place. So whatever King is going through, I really hope that young man gets through it and that his life can be saved to go in the right direction that I'm sure his parents that they want for him too. So whatever it is, whatever King's purpose is, that's supposed to come to pass, that's supposed to be in motion, I hope that comes sooner than later. And Charleston White, you stay out of it. You stay out of it because you got enough going on yourself.